Hi everyone, I'm Brad Beyer, and this is my SGA candidates profile. I'm a junior at NIU, and I'm currently running for re-election to keep my seat in the Student Senate in District 4. Now, aside from my involvement in the newly renamed SGA, I am currently the Department of Economics representative on the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences Student Advisory Council. I'm also a member of the Student Advisory Board under the Dean of Students, and I am currently serving as vice president of the Economic Student Association as well. I had formerly been the Balanced Man Scholarship Chairman with NIU Sigma Phi Epsilon. But within the Student Government Association, I've been fortunate enough this semester to chair our Committee on University Services Oversight and also ensuring that we are supporting other student support offices around campus. So one of the biggest takeaways that I would say that I have gotten from this academic school year has been the importance of networking and really making sure that SGA is engaged with the student body and with the university as well. So we recently renamed ourselves from the Student Association to the Student Government Association, and the reason why we added that government aspect is that people are aware that our organization is the student body government, and we're really there to support our students and our university moving forward. So oftentimes it had been routine just having conversations with friends and with some of my classmates that when I tell them that I am involved within our student government association and that I'm in the student senate, very often I hear, oh, I didn't know that we had a student senate, and they're not familiar with the work that SGA does. So really, I have come to understand how important it is to network, not only with university leaders, but also just with people in the student body, and really make sure that we're engaging and we're keeping ourselves as prominent as possible, just so that people are aware of who we are and what we do for the university. So how I intend to improve SGA and NIU for the betterment of students ultimately goes back to the networking aspect I had just addressed previously. I think now that we've renamed ourselves to the Student Government Association, it's very critical that NIU students know who we are and what we do. So really making sure that we're making the most of our platform is very important going forward. I've had several productive conversations with SGA leaders and also just university-wide leaders on how we're going to possibly address the pre-existing infrastructure in how students relate to the university and get their needs addressed and their concerns addressed. And so we have loose ideas floating around of how we're going to better that next year. But I think ultimately this all boils down to engagement and really networking and making sure that the students know who we are and what we do, because that will ultimately enhance the university's reputation if the university can display a student body that is really satisfied with their college experience. So, three of the biggest issues that I see with our university and that I think there is room for improvement have solutions that are relatively straightforward and I think could be simply addressed next year. And so, the first and foremost, I think, is school pride. NIU has unfortunately gotten a bad rap for being a suitcase school or a commuter college or whatever you want to call it. And so I think this ultimately leads to a lack of student pride in their university. And so really trying to promote that is necessary. And one of the ways that I'm interested in going about that is starting some sort of Proud Husky campaign or the Proud Husky Project or something similar that would be started on behalf of the Student Government Association and would really supplement the pre-existing Husky Pride initiatives that are out there. So for instance, Team Husky Pride is comprised of several different leaders around campus that all get together once a month and try and address, Husky Pride. And the conversation that I was having with them, SGA could really step up and provide them with T-shirts or other types of items that they could then distribute to the student body that had the Proud Husky campaign or the Proud Husky project that really highlights some of the great things that this university has offered. I think that is something relatively straightforward that we could definitely jumpstart next year. Secondly, I'd like to address the lack of student awareness of the opportunities out there for them to get involved and fix some of the problems that they see with the university. So, for instance, SGA gets appointments to university-wide committees. One example would be like the Parking Appeals Committee, and those opportunities are often gone unused and people don't take advantage of them. And I don't necessarily think it's because people aren't interested. I just don't think that students are aware of these opportunities. And so I've been working with OSEAL. Currently, they're trying to transition Engage Plus, which is the online platform that students can go to get engaged in matters. That this summer is being transitioned from Engage Plus to Huskies Engage, and that should be ready by the fall. And so I had a conversation with Destiny McDonald, who is involved, and she had told me that we could possibly create some sort of student involvement, or excuse me, student government or civic involvement category, and then we could put those appointments under that category on the new Huskies Engage, just to make sure that students are aware that they can get involved if they want to, and they can start to address problems that they see on the university. And so I'm really making sure that our students are aware that there are ways that they can go about fixing the problems that they see with NIU is definitely something that I also want to address next year. Now, lastly, while we're on the subject of civic engagement and fixing problems that you see, I think given that 2020 is an election year, politics and government will be a topic of conversation among students on campus come fall semester. And so really making sure that students are remaining civically engaged as possible during this critical time is really important. I think whether we want to address it or not, we are the future of not only this community, but this nation. And so making sure that students have a seat at the table and are really engaging in those matters is critical, and something that I feel strongly about making a priority come next year. So back in February, I had organized an event where I brought 4 local elected politicians from the DeKalb community onto campus to talk to students about their life experiences, their careers, but also just to give advice to NIU students who are looking to get involved, to give them advice about what they should do and how they should go about it if they wanted to get involved in local politics. And so really continuing to put NIU students in contact and making sure that they're standing in front of elected leaders in the community is important. And it is something that I think definitely, given that 2020 is an election year, will be important moving forward as the Student Government Association. All right, with all that said, I thank you for your time, and I'd like to encourage everyone to vote in the elections on Husky Link from 9 a.m. on March 24th to 5 p.m. on March 25th. I'm Brad Beyer. Go Huskies.